Kitchen, and welcome to Pasta Making 101. Today I'm getting a lot of people asking me, your sauce is great, but how do I make my own fresh pasta? Because nothing's better than homemade pasta. So today we're going to teach you how to do it. There's different techniques you can do and different ingredients using the flours. We're going to use a combination of semolina flour and all-purpose flour, but you could use all semolina or you could use all-purpose. The technique is exactly the same no matter what recipe you use, and all the recipes will be on our blog. So the traditional way is you make the well method. So you make a mound of your flour and your salt in the middle of your workstation, make a well in the center, add your eggs, your oil, whatever other ingredients you want, and then slowly with a fork or with your hands, you integrate it together and then knead it out. But I say when you got technology, use it. So we're going to make it in our KitchenAid mixer today. So we'll start with the wet works. So we got about a cup of water, we got 2 eggs, and about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. So we'll combine those together, get this started just slowly, just to mix those well. Okay, they're well mixed. Now we're going to combine, put the salt in with the flour. We're going to add about half of each flour right now to start with, because we don't want to overwhelm our mixer. So about half of our all-purpose flour. This is 2 cups of all-purpose and 2 cups of semolina. The major difference here, the semolina, as you can see, is yellow, or as they say in the business, amber. And then it's also a lot coarser than your typical all-purpose flour. So we're going to get that started. We're going to start off slow, unless you want flour to coat every horizontal surface of your kitchen. Okay, get a little incorporated. So we got it mixed. Now we're going to add the rest of it in there. And the rest of the semolina. And slowly, at some point, it's going to get a little too thick for our paddle, and then we're going to switch to the dough hook, which is right now. So release the paddle, clean it up a little bit, and go to the dough hook. Or you can pretend you're Captain Hook, or you can make pasta dough. Alright, so we're going to let that cook, or let that knead. Typically when you're doing the well method, you want to mix it and then you want to knead it for several minutes. This is doing the work for you. So we'll let that knead and we'll be right back once it's done. Alright, this has been kneading with your dough hook about 3 to 4 minutes. So we're going to turn it off. It's exactly how we want it. If it's too sticky, you can add a little more flour. If it's too dry, you add a little bit of cold water. But I think I'm pretty happy with this. So we're going to turn it out onto a board or your counter, nice clean counter. And then we just want to kind of knead it a little bit by hand into a nice ball. So just get it all together, all your little pieces. Get it all, see, this is perfect, I think. We're going to have some good pasta here. It's firm, but it's not too sticky. You can see it's not sticking to our counter, but it's not falling apart. I mean, if it's too dry, it's going to fall apart on you. If it's too wet, it's going to stick to the counter or to your hand, which you can see it's not. So we want to roll this out when we're done, but first we want to let it sit in the fridge for about an hour, and then take it out and let it sit at room temperature for about 15 minutes. So we're going to wrap this up, put it in the fridge, and we'll be back. Alright, our pasta has been resting. We wrapped it in plastic or a paper or a plastic bag like we have here. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece, because we don't want to run this whole thing through our pasta maker. So we'll cut out a small piece of it. If you have a board cutter, and this works fine. Keep the rest of it wrapped up. Now we're just going to want to press it out into somewhat of a rectangular shape. That's more like a football shape, but it'll work. So we'll turn on our pasta maker. This is a great attachment to our KitchenAid that'll roll out the dough. We're going to start on number 1 and roll it through. First time around, you're going to want to double it up. So let's roll it through 1. Turn it up to a little higher speed. fold it over, and run it through again. This is also giving us some kneading as well. One more time. Let's go one more time just to be sure. If it starts breaking up like it did, then that's just a sign that it needs a little bit more. So there we go. Now it's perfect. Nice little sheet. So then once you get your sheet all started, then you want to dial this down or up, depending on how yours works, to it too. And that just makes it thinner. So we're going to run it through on 2. Now we're going to go to 3. You can make this as thin as you like it. For this particular purpose, I like, for my machine, I like number 5. But the bigger the number, the thinner you got. Oops, that one. That happens sometimes too. You get a little too close to the edge, but that's fine. Just keep going. This is definitely a two-handed process because as you can see, as it gets thinner, it gets a lot longer. So now what we're going to do is put it on our board and cut it in half because it's getting a little too long to handle. Now we'll go up to number 4. See, the nice thing about the semolina is it gives it this gorgeous yellow color, which is really attractive. Most of your dry pastas that you get in the grocery store are made with semolina in some degree. It's also really good for extruded pastas like your rigatoni, your penne, all those kind. It makes them tougher and stronger. So that's 5, and I'm going to call it good on that because that's a nice thinness. So there we go. We're going to shut it off. Unscrew this part. Attach, and then we have our cutter. The one, it comes, when you buy this set, it comes with a fettuccine and a spaghetti cutter. So I'm going to go with the fettuccine cutter because I like the nice wider noodles. So attach that in, and then we just do the same thing. And this time we're going to run it through, and it's going to cut nice noodles for us. Make sure, this one you got to make sure you get it through nice and straight. And there they go. Beautiful fettuccine noodles. Just like your grandma used to make, right? So we got a little rack over here. I'm just going to keep them on there. You can put them on a rack and dry them, and you have nice dried noodles. Or if you're going to use them now, then just use them almost immediately. They take a very short amount of time to cook. This one's so long, I think I'm going to cut it in half also, because those noodles are going to be awful long. So 2 to 3 minutes in boiling salted water, and you're done with pasta, with fresh pasta rather. Does not take nearly as long as dry pasta does. All right, so that works really well. You got perfectly noodled. Like I said, you can use a knife. You just won't get exactly the same, and this is way easier. But then there's those hand crank machines as well that just bolt or clamp to your countertop, and then you just hand crank it that way. Those are considerably less expensive, and they work very well as well. So I'm going to crank out the rest of this pasta, and we'll be back with our sauce. And here's our delicious finished product with our lamb ragu made with our delicious tomato basil sauce. Buon appetito!